All right, hey everybody. This is Dave, Independent Outsider, and I just got a bug up my butt, and then I wanted to talk about Richard Ojeda. Yes, I pronounced your name right. It's Ojeda. He was very adamant about that. He was very Breaking Bad about that. Say my name, Ojeda. So So everybody's starting to talk about this guy. Kyle Kalinski's talking about this guy. Young Turk's talking about this guy. I'm sure Tim Black's going to start talking about this guy. Blah blah blah, which is a red flag for me. That everybody's talking about this guy. He just lost his seat for the seventh district in the West Virginia House. Um, and he's very dynamic. Uh, Red, if you're listening, Stevie King, she was the one that first brought this to my attention, and I'm just afraid it's another trap. I just I see I see the warning signs already. I see all of the progressive progressive media um, really getting excited about this guy. I see him stating a lot of really um, out of the box new ideas which will never be implemented. He's spot on domestic policies, but Richard Ojeda was an executive Army recruiter for West Virginia, and I have seen nothing about his foreign policy other than, get them overseas jobs back to the United States. Uh, real quick, he already has a page for his presidential campaign, and I want to read it real quick. I'm gonna be doing the slidey eye thing because I have to turn to the screen. So the the website is https://voteojeda.com, and of course I'll put the link in the video. But he already has it set up. He has a video set up where he's talking to an elderly woman. I don't know who it is, his mother or a teacher or something. I don't know, but he has started to push for this idea called service requires sacrifice mission. So mission one, service requires sacrifice. We ask our men and women in uniform to put our lives on the line, their lives on the line. Many make the ultimate sacrifice. They do so for modest salaries and no chance at great wealth out of love of country. But our elected representatives and our president, they get rich feeding at the trough of public service. Year after year, congressmen making $175,000 a year suddenly are worth millions of dollars. And when they leave public service, then the cashing in really begins. Most of them have no idea what it's like to try to put food on the table or tell their kids they can't afford to college. They can't afford college. Sorry, they don't use the same health care as us. They send their kids to private school. They have their own security. It's time for us to ask of our legislators and our president to make a fraction of sacrifices our troops do. Living modestly while serving your country, and you live on a modest pension thereafter. It's not too much to ask when our country hangs in the balance. This ensures not just that our representatives won't be bought and paid for, but they will have some understanding of the life of the working class citizen. We will be amazed how our healthcare improves when our representatives have to use the same healthcare that the working class citizen or returning veteran uses. I have a feeling that Richard Ojeda was already in office for a brief time, and he does have a pretty damn good voting record for the short time that he was in. And I have a feeling that he walks the walk when it comes, at least for the short time he was in, that he walks the walk. I don't know what salary he got, but I'm sure that whatever he is saying, he probably already did. But I'll have to check. My thing is, okay, you're saying that legislators have to make a fraction of the troops. I mean, he was a troop. He was also an executive recruiter. So, how much do you make, and how much have you contributed? I mean, of course, that's going to be brought up. I have a feeling that he's, in terms of this, he's probably walking the walk, but let's check. I'm not going to do it right now, but I will definitely be checking that to make sure that he's not being hypocritical. I don't think that he would fall into that trap. It just doesn't sound like that guy. I'm going to continue real quick. The service requires sacrifice mission is simple. Anyone who is elected to federal public office or is appointed to the cabinet must sacrifice any net worth over $1 million to charity of their choice, a real charity, not some family foundation run by their kids. So I doubt very seriously, given the short time that he was in, that he actually made over $1 million. So after they retire from public office, they will collect a $130,000 pension per year. They can make another $120,000 on their own for a total of $250,000 per year, maximum for life, subject to an automatic yearly cost of living adjustment. If you really want to sell your country out to Big Pharma, all you can get in return for your soul is $120,000. We're tired of millionaires making decisions that impact our families but do not impact their own, whether it be public schools, healthcare, housing, banking. Elected officials must be held accountable by ensuring their own decisions will impact their families as well. And he has 3 more missions to be announced. So I'm sure those will be big announcements that'll be timed and put on whoever, Jimmy Dore or TYT or Tim Black or Kyle Kalinske. I'm sure they'll be announced over time. My thing is, that's great. That's domestic policy. What's your foreign policy? How hawkish are you? How much money do you want to spend on the military? Are you an anti-interventionist? We'll see. And what is your stance? Why do we need to recruit as many people as we do into the military, and why so soon? Why target individuals in their junior year in high school? I'm asking. And why the Democratic Party, which is a highly beat the drum war party, and voted for that bloated defense budget or attack budget. So I'm saying this guy is very dynamic, and especially to those people in the Rust Belt states, don't get excited yet. I'm sorry. Please don't get excited yet. I have to take a look at this guy. I have a feeling he could take off in the progressive circles, but I there's a giant red flag on this guy. I just I feel it. I feel that, and he is a very charismatic guy. Uh, I don't want people to fall into a charisma trap just yet. And I know he's way more appealing than a Joe Manchin, but just let's see where his let's see where he really is in regards to the war issue and the military industrial complex. It's very gung ho. So I'm not an anti-military guy. I'm an anti-military industrial complex guy. I just am. I can't see the amount of money being spent on the defense budget. So I haven't heard too much on what he says uh, on foreign policy. Again, only domestically, which scares the hell out of me when it comes to a Democrat, because that's one of the major plays in their playbook. Push, domestic policy, domestic policy, domestic policy, because that's what the public wants to hear about. They don't want to hear about how much money we're spending out in Venezuela and Yemen and all of that. And Caitlin Johnstone just wrote a very good article, which I forgot. The best way that you support our troops is to end all the unnecessary wars. Curious to know how Richard Ojeda feels about that. So that's all I have as an independent outsider. I hope you found this at least somewhat informational, and independent outsider out.